If you asked me to describe college, I would tell you that it's fun and it's exciting, but it's also difficult and sometimes even scary. When you get to college, there's so many new things for you to navigate, like a new living space, a new schedule, new friends, and new expectations, and this can all be kind of overwhelming. It might take some time for you to find your friends, to fall into a good rhythm, and to really feel at home at school, but if you're struggling to feel settled in at college, you're not alone. Hi guys, welcome back to RIT Student Life's YouTube channel. I'm Katherine, I'm a 5th year student here at RIT, and over my last 4 years of college, I've had a lot of time to learn how to manage my coursework, how to navigate friendships, and how to balance my college schedule. I've gone through almost all the growing pains that come with college, and I've done a lot of reflecting on what has worked for me, what I wish I knew sooner, struggles that I've had, and ways that I could have helped myself better when I was struggling. So today, I'm here to give you my top 10 tips that will help you be successful in college. All right, so starting off strong, my first tip is to go out and make friends. I know this is pretty basic advice, but being in college and being on a college campus is one of the few times in your life that you're gonna be around such a large group of peers where everyone is in the same stage of life and also interested and open to making friends. Even if you're already a few months or a few years into college and you already have some friends, I'd still encourage you to go out and keep making friends because each friendship that you have offers you a different connection, a different experience, and a different perspective, which can help you learn and grow. And that's really what college is all about. When you're making friends, you can't just rely on proximity interactions with your peers, like seeing them in class or your dorm or in a dining hall. If you have a friend in one of your classes or in your dorm building, try to reach out to them and invite them to something like getting coffee together or going to an event together so that you two can connect and start to solidify your friendship. A great way to find friends and a community is to join clubs and organizations on campus. RIT has over 300 clubs ranging from esports to knitting club, and you can find them all on campus groups. And above all else, remember to be kind and patient with yourself when it comes to making friends. Friendships come and go, especially in college when there are so many moving parts, and forming a really valuable friendship can take a lot of time and effort. So it's not just gonna happen overnight. All right, my second tip here is similar to my first one. It's to make friends both inside of your major and outside of your major. Your friends inside of your major are going to be your study buddies and your support group for your classes and your studies. They're going to be on similar schedules to you, which means that if you're studying or doing homework, they're probably going to be studying too. They're also going to be on the same track as you, which means that you can use them as gut checks or guides to make sure that you're on track with certain milestones like submitting assignments, starting to study for an exam, or starting your co-op or internship applications. Now, your friends outside of your major are going to help you grow by introducing you to different activities, ideas, or interests that you might not get from the peers inside of your major. These friends can come from clubs, work opportunities, sports that you're involved in, the dining hall, or even just off of the quarter mile. While all of your friends can come from within your major, it's really important to have friends or a friend group that is separate from your classes and your studies so that you can take a break and get some relief from your academics. I have one friend group where pretty much everyone is the same major as me. We're all mechanical engineers, so we can talk about our classes and our projects and our job applications together. And then I have a couple of other friend groups that are not all mechanical engineers, and we get to talk about other things. I get to kind of take a break from the academics and from my major, and I get to learn more about what they're doing and what they're interested in. Okay, tip number 3 is to budget your dining dollars or your meal swipes to last you the full semester. It's so easy to accidentally run through all of your dining dollars or your meal swipes, especially if your meal plan has dining dollars that convert to a real dollar value. For me, getting a large iced matcha latte every morning is so enticing, especially when I'm not paying with my credit card or my debit card and I'm using dining dollars instead. But that $6 or $7 drink every day adds up really quickly and takes away from the dining dollars that should be covering your meals and your daily nutrition. On the flip side of this, it's a big bummer to have a large excess in your meal plan at the end of the semester and not have it roll over to the next semester. So to be conscious of your spending, I would just check your meal plan balance about once every week to make sure that you aren't overspending or underspending and that you have enough in your balance to last you the whole semester. RIT Dining even has a weekly budget tracker on their website for each meal plan that the school offers. This budget tracker is super helpful because it shows you about where your balance should be every week and about how much you should be spending on dining each week in the semester. Moving on to tip number 4, don't skip your classes. It's really easy to skip classes and to make up reasons and excuses for why you should be skipping classes, but it's a bad habit that can snowball really quickly and be pretty hard to break. I've been there before where I've told myself, I'm only gonna skip this 8 a.m. once, and it's okay because my professor is gonna post the notes to my courses afterwards and I can catch up on the material I've missed, but it becomes a really slippery slope. Once you've skipped that first class and it feels like you're not that far behind and you haven't missed that much material, it's really easy to skip the next class and the next class and the next class until you're at week 7 and you're studying for your midterm and you don't understand any of the content that you're reviewing. If you're a chronic class skipper, I'd recommend finding an accountability buddy, maybe even someone else who also skips classes, and keep track of your attendances with them. You can even make it a game to see who misses the least amount of classes in a semester. I did that one semester with one of my friends and I came out winning a dinner at the end. If you do happen to miss a class because you're sick or you have an appointment, reach out to your professors and communicate that with them so that you can stay up to date on the material and you don't fall too far behind. Tip number 5 is to not leave your assignments until the last minute, which is easier said than done. I can't tell you the amount of times that I started an assignment just an hour before it was due, and it either took me longer than an hour to complete or I didn't understand parts of it, so I just couldn't finish it at all. If you get your assignments done early or even just start them early, it gives you the time to go to your TAs or your professors to get your work reviewed and to ask questions, and to also get that assignment submitted before the deadline so that you don't miss the deadline. Tip number 6 is to go to your professor and TA office hours. This is a place where you can get help with your assignments and with understanding a class's material better, and it's also an opportunity to get to know your professors and your TAs better. Your professors and your TAs are the people who can help you the best in your classes, and they're also the people who grade your assignments and your exams. Having a working relationship with your professors and your TAs shows that you care about the class and that you're putting in effort into your studies. If you do have a good relationship with your professors or your TAs and they know that you care a lot about your classes, it might come in handy if you got an assignment in late or you didn't do too well on an exam. Sometimes they can be a little lenient with you because they know you care and you're trying, and they might extend a deadline for you or give you a few points back on an exam. Tip number 7 is to review your professors either in online forums like Rate My Professor or in surveys that your school provides like Straight Reviews at RIT. Professors are generally here to teach and help students, so their goal is to understand how to best reach you, the student, and help you be successful. Live feedback is such an important part of this process because it helps professors understand what they did well, what they should work on, and how they can improve for students in the future. Online forums like Rate My Professor are helpful for you and other students in the future when you're picking your classes to understand what a professor will be like and what their expectations will be when you select a course with them. Tip number 8 is to find a space outside of your dorm or your room to study. I tend to struggle a lot when I'm studying in my room or my apartment because there are so many distractions around me that can turn into excuses for me to avoid doing my work. Because of this, I try to do all of my studying on campus, either in a common area, in the library, or in a private study room where I can really sit down and focus on my work and there are less distractions around. Studying outside of your room can help minimize opportunities for you to get distracted, and it can help you get into the right headspace to do your work. Tip number 9 is to use the campus resources that your college has for you. At RIT, we have mentorship programs, a student health center if you get sick, tutoring services, and an academic success center, which are all free and there for you to use if you need them. The staff and faculty at your university are here to help you succeed and to support you in whatever capacity you need. If you're struggling in college or you need some sort of help, but you're too afraid to seek out some of the resources that your school offers, you're not alone. I've also been there before, but I'm here to tell you that there's no shame in asking for help. And that brings me to tip number 10, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you need help in a class or on campus or with your personal life, you're not the first student in college to need help, and you're not alone. If you need help in class, on campus, with your personal life, reach out to your professors, your TAs, your advisor, your peers, and your friends. Everyone is here to help you and to see you succeed in college, so get yourself out there.